Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Relationship Talk with Sharonda. I am your auntie Sharonda, and I just want to say happy, happy, happy New Year. I hope 2025 was everything that you desired it to be. And if it wasn't, then you have 2026 to make all of the changes that you need to make so that you can see things happen that you actually want to see happen. Okay? So, y'all, today is my first day back. I have been off for a while, enjoying my time off, but today I officially get back to everything, meaning PPG business, my corporate job business, family business, just everything. And I've taken on a new business venture. I'm actually going to be doing taxes this year. So I have a whole new group of people that I'm going to be working with. So I'll be taking care of tax business as well because, again, I want to see certain things happen in 2026. I have two daughters that are graduating. And as their mother, I have certain things that I want to see happen for them. And that means that I got to get out there and work for it, and I got to make it happen. Nothing comes unless you make it happen. We can sit back and we can fantasize about a dream that, I want to do this and I want to do that. Nothing matters until you decide to do something to make it happen. People that say, oh, I need more money. What you going to do to make it happen? I need more time. What are you going to do to make it happen? You have to make things happen in your life. Okay? All right. So now we passed that, right? I made a post on Facebook and I suggested if you are a woman and you have experienced a hysterectomy, or if you're on any type of birth control, tubes tied, anything that can impact your hormones, I have recommended that you try NUD. All of the ladies that I have recommended NUD to, they have all come back with the same testimony. And the testimony is, I feel like a woman again. I feel like I got desire again. I feel like I'm craving sex again. I feel like I actually want to lay up with my husband. I feel like I actually can have an orgasm, right? And that is because NUD puts a strong dose of libido in your body. Libido is another word for desire, sex drive, right? It puts a strong dose of hormones in your system to increase your sex drive. So you're going to want to perform. And even when you perform, you're going to want to perform again. As long as it's in your system, you're going to want to perform. Sometimes you ain't going to want to do nothing else but perform. Right? So if you are interested in doing something different in your bedroom this year, and you know that you got medical stuff going on, excuse me, if you know you got medical stuff going on, then you have to invest in yourself. The same way you invest in your wig to look good, the same way you invest in your wardrobe to look good, the same way you invest in anything that matters to you, that's important to you. If your bedroom is important to you, then you got to be willing to invest in it. Because the thing about your body is these things are not going to change. They're not going to go back to the way it was when you were in your prime. No, you're going through the change of life. So if you want an active sex life, you have to be willing to do the things to invest in having that active sex life, right? I was sitting at a table at a party this weekend that I was invited to. And I kid you not, I'm at the table and I'm in the same age range with all of the women at the table. And they're all talking about the same thing. Hot flashes, night sweats, all of this kind of stuff. And y'all aunties sitting up there. And I'm not saying that my day ain't coming. Because I'm pretty sure my day will come. Okay? But your auntie's sitting up there, and I'll be 46 this year. I've never experienced a hot flash. I don't know nothing about a night sweat. I don't know nothing about any of this. But I try to live a very active, healthy life. My face itching. I try to make sure that I keep my mobility going. I'm stretching my body. I'm doing things to make sure that my blood is circulating through my body. In other words, I'm not just sitting down working a desk job and then coming home and sitting on the couch and watching my favorite show on Netflix. No, I'm making it a point to be very active and outgoing and moving around so that I can maintain my youth. I'm not youthful as I was in my 20s, but guess what? I ain't got the story of I don't have mobility. I don't have all of this other stuff. No, we make happen what we want to make happen. So if it means that you got to get out there and exercise and stretch and get stretch bands and invest in yourself and line dance and all of the other stuff, it's just what you got to do, right? But if you have had a hysterectomy, if you're on birth control, if your tubes have been tied, I recommend that you try the Nud gummies, okay? Hit me up. Let me tell you right now, first of all, this is what y'all don't know. This last order of Nud is my last order of Nud. I've completely bought the manufacturer out of all of their Nud. They're no longer creating Nud anymore. So what I have is what I have. My people who was taking advantage of the sales at the end of the year last year, that was because I was getting rid of the old packaging. I had until December 31st to get rid of all of that old packaging, right? This is what the new packaging looks like. I'm well stocked with it, but I can guarantee you by Valentine's Day, I'm going to be completely out. That's my goal, to be completely out by Valentine's Day so I can buy Madison her car. That's my goal, right? So, moving on, while I was on vacation, y'all, baby, you know my man was on vacation too. So we both have had time off. And when I tell you we have thoroughly enjoyed our time off, y'all, his neighbors was out there taking down their Christmas decorations. And I had to walk out with my robe on. Hair just frizzed all over the place. Y'all, I was looking a hot mess. But let me tell you, I had to went over there earlier that morning. And I had the pheromones on. Look on my website, Head Over Heels. And I had some pearls on. I was wearing the pearls. I had this beautiful lingerie on. I love hosiery, stockings. I had beautiful stockings on. The stockings was crotchless with the list suspender stuff and all. It beautiful, right? He pulled me in the jacuzzi. We in there. I'm in the jacuzzi with the lingerie on. Like, y'all, we just be doing the most, right? But I decided to take these pearls from around my neck, right? And I basically took the pearls and I put them to the base of his shaft, and I just started going around and around in a circle until I completely covered his shaft. And once the shaft was covered, and the only thing that was exposed was the head of his shaft, at that point, I took the head and I put it in my mouth. Now, this is kind of what it looks like, and I'm doing it with this bottle because this is the safe way to do it, because when I do it with a dildo, of course Facebook and everybody goes crazy. But when you have the beads on the shaft, you want them to have a little bit of slack. You don't want them to have a whole lot of slack, right? So now that you have the beads on the shaft and you have his head exposed, right, what you're going to do is you're going to take the beads and you're going to stroke the shaft with the beads ever so gently, right? You don't have to be hard. You don't have to be forceful, because this is just a different sensation for him. You're taking it and you're stroking them gently. He's literally feeling every bead on his shaft. He can feel it, right? And then you want to take and you want to put his head in your mouth, and you want to continue to stroke while you have his head in your mouth. All right? That's a cute little trick. The wholesale company used to sell the beads already, you know, with the elastic. And another thing, I should have said this in the beginning, when you decide to use a string of pearls or beads, make sure that they're smooth all over, because sometimes they'll have especially cheap beads, because I had pearls on, but when you have cheap beads, sometimes they'll have like the little snags on them that need to be filed down. So you want to make sure you get some good quality ones. You may have to go to the hair store and actually get pearls. Get a string of pearls. String of pearls typically don't have the snags on them. They're very smooth and they're not going to break the skin or cut them or anything like that in any type of way. Okay? So, yes, this was one of my little tricks that I pulled out the bag on my man. And he was sitting up there like, okay, this is different. Yep, it's different. People say, well, Sharonda, you don't be giving out the tips and stuff like you used to, because y'all be acting like y'all like men. Y'all act like y'all do not like men. And I don't have a lot of content for lesbian women because I'm not a lesbian. Y'all act like y'all don't like men. Everybody want to go to the other side and be with women, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that. But I don't have a lot of content centered around that because I have heterosexual sex. I don't engage with other women. So I'm not saying that I couldn't use my imagination, but I always tell y'all, I teach my life, right? I don't have to go out there and look for other content creators and what they talking about and all this. I teach my life. I teach what's going on. I teach the things that I do, right? But being that y'all act like y'all just so against men and the dating pool got piss and shit in it and this, that, the other. But the thing is, in reality, I know y'all still fucking. In reality, baby's still coming. In reality, your lives are still messy. It's just that, you know, when it comes down to investing in the bedroom, a lot of people are not willing to invest in the bedroom because they're not getting their way in relationships, but they're still having sex. You know, that's just the way things go. All right. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, y'all, there is this new trend where these young folks are using the sex offenders registry as if it's Tinder or some type of dating site. In other words, if they're having a hard time with getting laid in places like Tinder and Facebook dating and online because, you know, they feel like the people ain't putting out fast enough, they have started going to the local sex offenders registry, wherever city they're in, and pulling up the people name, pulling up their picture, and then they're going on other social platforms and finding these people, and they're literally inboxing them, and you will be amazed that normally within a matter of a couple of hours, they are linking up. They are linking up, baby. I'm talking about these sex offenders inviting these people into their house, laying up, some of them charging them, they selling it. Oh, this is a crazy new trend. So, you know, if it's all on TikTok, it's all on, you know, the other social platforms where they are using the sex offenders registry as if it is Tinder, as a hookup site. Okay, go check it out. You all be blessed. You all enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your new year. Be blessed.